Thank you so much. SA44, at this time the program says I must tell everyone about your accomplishments. Colleagues, on the 17th of July 2024, a group of us gathered at OR Tambo International, anxious and awaiting a cohort to arrive. We continued to see on the board that the flight was delayed. Eventually, we decided, let's rather go have dinner. In case they arrive and we are not here, they are Peace Corps volunteers. They will figure it out. We went and we had dinner. We came back and the flight had still not arrived. But shortly after a long wait, while singing and dancing at the airport, 17 people arrived with big smiles. You could tell they were anxious and that they were excited at the same time. I think they knew that they would go through an intensive training. Maybe they just did not know how intensive it would be. I doubt they imagined that their days will be filled with back-to-back learning experiences that were thought-provoking. I doubt they expected their nights to be filled with a plate of bohobe, maotwana, moroho, and all South African local food. Nonetheless, they embraced our culture. They had many questions daily. And of course, we were there to respond to some and refer for other questions. Using what we call the participatory analysis for community action, our trainees learned and achieved a set of competencies that exemplify service and resilience by being accountable, flexible, taking initiative, and solving problems amongst many other competencies. To this, they dedicated 30 hours. They demonstrated responsibility for personal health and safety and security by taking good care of themselves, not going to the bar or taverns, taking their medication when they were feeling a little sick. And to this, they dedicated 32 hours. They went on to do their practicums, facilitating participatory development with our communities, our training communities, but also their permanent site communities. To this, they dedicated 108 hours. They integrated with our communities. They learned the language, dedicating 120 hours to language. Feel free to speak to them in Sepedi and Setswana. They will respond and they will understand what you are saying. Right, trainees? They used what we call the self-other bridge to be able to stay true to themselves as Americans, but also learn and embrace the South African cultures and integrate in the communities that they are staying in, the communities they will be staying in. They learned about different cultures at Gabomoto Cultural Village. They stayed with a South African family, eating local food, and even knowing each other and getting to know each other to a point where they know who's comfortable eating mopane worms. With Mr. Morgan Mthembu, they learned about the history of South Africa, so they have mastered the art of suspending judgment and embracing South African diversity. They had a full week of what we call participatory analysis for community action, where they were doing practicums in the community of Ndwani. And they went to their permanent sites to learn, to teach, and to work with health organizations. They shadowed existing volunteers, and they learned about the school curriculum and how to work with the health organizations in our community for HIV awareness and prevention. I am sure they can take good care of themselves. So I trust that in the communities where they are going, they will become one with those communities. They understand Peace Corps policies. Therefore, I know that they will represent Peace Corps and the people of America very well in South Africa. With this cohort, days were full of laughter. Yes, there were challenges, but they could be resolved, and we worked to do just that. This cohort could never come back to class without grabbing their neighbor and coming with them to class, even though sometimes I had to remind them. They understand each other, they love each other, and I know they can do their laundry by hand. I never see them going to the washing machines at Loskop. This cohort did very well in their language proficiency interview, with the highest achievers receiving intermediate high as the score, while the benchmark is intermediate low. Over and above this many accomplishments, their biggest accomplishment was staying sane for 11 weeks with me in their faces. After spending 11 weeks being what we call Big Brother, because I'm always watching, I believe this cohort is ready to serve. I am happy to hand them to program managers. Trainees, please be aware that if program managers say they do not accept you as volunteers, we are going back to training. So you better give them big smiles. I would like to call to the podium the program manager for education, Nicole Acha, and Oskorile Laka, who's the program manager for health, is not here, but TK Dokwesepesu will be representing.